Forza Horizon 5 is the latest and most polished entry in Playground Games' open world series, and you can happily experience what is one of the best racing games around right now with pals. First releasing on Xbox Series X and PC before landing on PS5 in 2025, Forza Horizon 5 crossplay support means you can also explore Mexico and race with friends and family across platforms.
The threat of permadeath is somehow softened when it's shared. I mean, you'll all still die, but at least there's comfort in blame when you're playing co-op. Don't Starve's resource gathering, base building challenge was already great fun, but it's even more so with a friend. Especially as you can split the workload and responsibilities as you tend to your home or farm, and explore the world to find more of whatever you need to make it through another day.
Think Left 4 Dead with space dwarves and you won't be far off. Deep Rock Galactic is a team-based shooter where you and up to 3 stout friends rocket into a procedurally generated planet in search of minerals. To find what you want, you'll each have to use your class-specific abilities, slinging grappling hooks, creating platforms, lighting up dark caves, and blowing holes in the scenery to create new paths. Every so often, a swarm of alien spiders will jump on you, and you'll be forced back-to-back pulling your trigger for dear life. Its varied, colourful environs never seem to repeat, and when the lights dim and smoke rises, it's properly atmospheric.
Nothing helps you bond quite like fighting against Tyranids. Yes, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a great option if you're looking to get stuck into some action with pals. With 3-player co-op support, you can take on the whole campaign together, work as a team to take on operation missions, or go up against heretics in a PvP mode.
Borderlands has always been better with friends. What good is a shotgun that chains electric damage between enemies, or a rifle that spits out bouncing saw blades if you haven't got a buddy at your side to watch it in action? The main attraction of the series has always been finding ever wackier guns to shoot at ever wackier enemies, and Borderlands 3 is the wackiest in the series so far. Many weapons have absurd alternate fire modes, and the world is bigger and far more varied. In previous Borderlands, loot was shared between players, which meant you had to fight over the best guns. You can play Borderlands 3 that way, it's called Cooperative, but in cooperation mode, you'll get your own discrete pile of weapons showering out of enemies, so you never have to share.
Baldur's Gate 3 takes you on a sweeping adventure across the Sword Coast as you set out to try and rid yourself of a tadpole that's been lodged in your head. With so many choices to make, stories to explore, and characters to get to know, and woo if you're so inclined, it's one of the best RPGs we've seen in recent times. And better yet, you can experience it with pals. With co-op support both online and locally for up to 4 players, you can assemble a party of your very own and get stuck into Larian's D&D-fueled dice-rolling tourney in good company.
The Outlast Trials is a horror fan's dream and is the perfect choice for any friends who love chaotic and challenging puzzles. The third game in the Outlast series, The Outlast Trials, puts you in your own slasher movie as you're forced to take part in a series of horrifying tests after being kidnapped by the Murkoff Corporation. While you can play the game solo, it's during the multiplayer mode that this title comes to life. Racing through the gory map, laughing in terror as Mother Gooseberry hunts you down, and strategically completing objectives together is hours upon hours of fun.
Bungie's sci-fi epic is built on the ability to join up with other players as much as possible. Part FPS, part MMO. Destiny 2's outstanding shooting mechanics and tempting loot grinds will keep you and your friends in for the long run. Or at least until Destiny 3 inevitably comes out and everyone jumps ship. Not only are there a ton of adventures, strikes, nightfalls, and 6-person raids to participate in, but you'll also find yourself working with random players you encounter in the world. Public events literally fall out of the sky, tasking you and anyone nearby to find out hordes of enemies for that extra piece of loot. If you've somehow never jumped on the Destiny train, you still have time to find and friend and become a Guardian of the Galaxy today!
Completing Fogs definitely requires plenty of cooperation, as you and your pal will take control of a 2-headed sausage dog, each of you taking one of its heads, connected together by a long, stretchy body. Together, you'll have to bite, bounce, and bark your way through a series of puzzles set across 3 unique worlds. Each one is utterly adorable and is themed around a Fog's favorite things: food, sleep, and play. As you work your way through them, it's easy to appreciate the fact each world and the levels within it offers a unique way to utilize your good Fog abilities and your co-op power. It's a delight that also feels like going on a walk in a cheese dream with a friend. Just wait until you see the hat shops too.
Stardew Valley hands you the keys to a rundown farm in a small, lazy town and asks you to turn its fortunes around. But it's not pushy. You and your friends can do as many or as few chores as you want. You can chop up wood and plant crops, fish and trade, craft and scavenge, or you can wander around town chatting to the pleasant townsfolk. This game became famous for its relaxing single-player mode, but the online co-op is, in our opinion, the best way to play. If you've already got a save going, you need to build some cabins to add your friends, or you can all start a new game with a shared farm. Progress only saves for the host. With up to 3 co-op partners, you can come up with freeform projects, dividing up tasks to hasten production, or sit around watching the sun go up and down. It's your farm, your rules.
Although you can play Sea of Thieves solo, this is very much a game that encourages you to tell stories, and more importantly, create those tales with other people. Galleons can be sailed by crews of up to 4, with adventures spinning out from the various voyages you undertake. That might be finding buried treasure, collecting goods to trade with the merchants, or hunting down undead pirate captains. Or, fighting a kraken or taking on a huge skeleton fort. Whatever you do in Sea of Thieves, you'll need a crew. Then just let the hilarity commence.
At their heart, the best Diablo games have always been about the pursuit of ever shinier loot. Having someone to share your latest, shiniest ring with makes those rare finds all the more thrilling. Diablo 4 is the latest to challenge all of those sensations, with an excellent campaign and evolving seasons to provide you and your pals with new challenges continually. It's also a great experience for fantasy-loving couples to play. Portal 2 is a classic, and if you haven't played it yet, well, you're in for one of the best co-op experiences of your life. The co-op campaign is a noticeable jump in difficulty from the already fiendish original. Not only will you and a friend, who each control a lovable robot, have to put your heads together to figure out how to finish a test chamber, but you'll often have to time your movements and actions just right. If one player jumps a split second early or activates a button too late, the whole plan falls apart. It makes communication vital and each puzzle all the more rewarding to solve. On top of those puzzles is a layer of Valve's unmistakable humor, and GLaDOS, remember her, is once again the star. You can high-five your friend, play rock, paper, scissors, or, if you're feeling evil, dunk them into deadly goo by pulling a bridge up from under their feet.
Overcooked 2 sounds simple. Prepare a bunch of meals as chefs within a certain time limit. Easy. Well, not so much. While there are up to 4 of you playing, it starts to get tricky to keep track of the game's various commands and stipulations, as well as avoiding various hazards in the kitchen itself. This can lead to some frantic play, and only the most cohesive of teams will get those dishes out on time. The levels are insane. The menu's increasingly complex, and overall this is a mad existence of a game, but hilarious fun too.
Yes, Minecraft gets everywhere, but for good reason. Its digital building block world has endless imagination-filled potential. You can team up with friends to build pointless structures or grand engineering feats of construction, or you can bounce about the place, creating chaos and generally hanging out. Its lack of rigid structure means you and your friends can get up to anything, whether that's an evening of messing about or a longer-term project you can take your time over. Seriously, it's one of the best multiplayer games for a reason.
It's rare that a game is only playable in co-op, but that's exactly what A Way Out does. Whether you're splashing the water to usher fish to each other, going back to shimmy up a wall gap, passing a chisel between cells to find an exit route, or even just playing Connect 4 or a game of basketball, the co-op never feels like an added extra. You're 2 criminals trying to find a way out of prison, and a step closer to redemption. But more importantly, this is one story that you must experience together.
Hazelight Studios' latest co-op adventure is an absolute must for anyone looking for an experience to get stuck into with a pal or loved one. Also featuring the Friend Pass that lets you play with a pal online with just one copy of the game, Split Fiction mashes together sci-fi and fantasy worlds as you take on the role of either Mio or Zoe, two writers who get thrown into their own fictional worlds. With 2-player split screen, you have a blast trying out the many different mechanics and inventive level designs on offer.
It Takes Two is the latest game from the team that brought you A Way Out, and it's another game specifically built to be played cooperatively. This time around, you're playing as a husband and wife duo who have been turned into a pair of dolls by their daughter, unhappy about the news that they're divorcing. Cue gameplay that's part Pixar, part Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, add in a sprinkle of marriage counseling courtesy of an anthropomorphic self-help book, and you've got a glimpse into what to expect with It Takes Two. But it's also much more than that. A little slice of magic and literally the best co-op game out.